Good morning, everybody. My name is Hicks-Forrest. My website is Hello Extraordinary Life. This is the live Wednesday Wisdom Call. Welcome to the call or the recording if you're listening later. I offer one-on-one coaching, private sessions. Check out the website there's a drop-down menu, one-on-one coaching and group coaching. So I offer mentor coaching and a mentor group, which is I'm right in the middle of one right now, so there will be another one starting. I have no idea when. I've not looked at any dates for the next course to begin. But you can check out what it's all about and see if that is something for you too. All of these calls are recorded, so anything you'd like to hear, any topic you'd like to hear more about, they are listed under Insider Calls. I still haven't figured out another name that I like better to call them. And yeah, today the topic is, well, I said I quit, but it's really about me leaving this job for 20 years, my whole life here really, 30 years doing hair, 1994, longer than that, 1986 is when I got licensed to do hair, 32 years.
Wow.
In 1998 for massage. So that's how long I've had a career here in this town. And then I moved to Lincoln, California, 6 years ago, and I've been driving back and forth every 4 weeks since then to take care of a very few hair clients and majority of massage. And I reached a point of it's time to be done. At the end of last year, the traffic's gotten worse, and I'm just tired. Gotten this business going for coaching, and it's very disruptive. Every time I get that momentum going and then I stop, everything stops when I come here, except for this call. Most everything else gets stopped because I'm putting all my time and energy here. And most of my clients I've had for more than, my hair clients have been, some of them were born to me. I've done their hair the whole time, and one of them is now in college. And then, so that means I've done their parents. I've seen their parents longer than that. So I've had clients for a long, long time here. So leaving is not an easy decision. It's been, I knew that I would, if I was moving across the country where I had to fly, that would be a different story, but I'm able to drive this. And until we reach that point in anything in our life, any decision that we're making, sometimes they're really easy, and then other times they're a little more difficult. And the pain has to outweigh that decision to change sometimes. That's not always true, but in this case, and when we're making difficult decisions, that's mostly true for many of us. The pain has to outweigh that desire to change. Excuse me. So I arrived. The pain became greater. It's just many levels, many levels, as it is with being human and all the emotions that come with that. And that's really what I wanted to address today, is what comes with that part of being human. And all those emotions, we're really good. I won't say all or even most, but many of us are really good at stuffing things, not addressing them, pretending they don't exist, or if I just go distract myself over there and do something else, or I have found myself eating my emotions, not a ton, but enough that I'm present to it. I'm like, I'm not even hungry. Why am I eating food? Why am I just putting something in my mouth? And they're usually snack things because I don't want to feel whatever it is I'm feeling in that moment. So I got present to that. That was another way it was showing up. The bonus here for me, I will say, is I haven't been angry about it, because that is my default emotion. The first thing I'll do is get angry, and then I'll hide all the stuff behind my anger and under it. And then it takes me a while to get to it, because I'd rather be angry, because that's a driver emotion for me, than to be sad or feel the grief of my decision. It's kind of a weird paradox, because I'm super excited about the possibility. I got up this morning and I was fairly excited about this being the last frickin' drive here at 6 o'clock in the morning. to stay here for 5 days and work. I was excited about that. And then I get here and I haven't seen my clients yet. And I know that what will come is a lot of emotions around it. So I'm honoring that process, and I'll come back next week and do a farewell dinner with everybody. Because another part of completing something like this is acknowledging the time that we've had together and honoring that and celebrating it and being sad together and then moving on, because our relationships change. Often we just want to move from one thing to the next and not acknowledge what's changing. That's a whole, that word change just has a whole charge to it. So what's becoming different? Life is becoming different. It will be very different not coming here and seeing my clients, my friends, every 4 weeks. That means I get to maintain those relationships differently going forward. Otherwise, I won't have them, right? So what shows up in the midst of all that? Just like when we're leaving a job, we're moving away. I know someone here is going to be moving away soon. There's all kinds of stuff. Yes, it's exciting. It's just like when we get married or we get divorced or our kids leave the house. There's a place of, yes, it's very exciting, this new beginning, and there's also a place of honoring what's been and grieving that and allowing that to show up, however it does. Now, once it shows up, what do I do with all of that? And this is true in any emotional state that we get into. We have a choice about how we handle it. Do we react to it? Do we respond to it? You know, my mother was not at all supportive. Not at all. The first thing she said to me was, "You're deserting me." So her abandonment stuff is showing up. And I told her, well, I will get to come and visit you and not have to be here to work the whole time. But she likes it when I come because I stay with her the whole time. There's no support there. There's no understanding that I have a different life. So what do I do with that? Do I buy into her abandonment issue? Because it's real easy to do that. She's my mom. Our families trigger us a lot, right? So I've just said, I'm going to get to come and visit and acknowledge that that's her stuff. I don't have to subscribe to it. Now, how do we not do that? Let's just talk about that for a minute. The families. How do we not buy into their bullshit or their wounds? It's not always bullshit. Their wounds, their hurt. How do we not subscribe or feel guilty or feel shame when someone says that? Or one of my clients cried when I told her that I was leaving. And it's super easy to get sucked right in because I'm already in my own emotion about it. What has helped me and is helpful is to step back a little bit and recognize that they have their own process too. I don't have to control it, and I don't have to react to it. I get to accept. I've made a choice, and not everyone's going to like it. I'm talking about a specific situation, but this applies across the board in our life. We make choices every day. Not everyone is going to like my choices. Do I get caught up in their stuff about it? Or do I stay true to the choice I made, knowing that that's the direction that Spirit's directing me to go? And that's what I've stuck with. Because there are moments like, oh my God, did I really make the right choice? Especially when my mom does the relieving me. My client's crying. And I'm like, oh, holy fuck. Did I just hang myself out to dry? Am I really going to be able to survive in my hometown? Am I really going to be able to build a business? Well, of course I am. All I have to do is look at all the evidence of my life And I've done it. Wherever I've gone, I've done it. So, being in the emotions. I want to share a story with you because I went into this rage. Oh my gosh, rage one day. I was watching something on TV about animals in the Serengeti or somewhere. They were vultures. And we're watching this program, and Lou knows I love animals, and thinking it's this pretty innocuous about their life and how they live, and how blazing hot it is, and where they have their babies on the ledges, and their survival. And it comes to the end of this program, and people are poisoning the animals on the ground that the vultures eat, because they eat dead animals. And within 20 minutes, they're dropping out of the sky by the hundreds. I'm still kind of emotional about it. I was so enraged. From 0 to 1,000,000 in a nanosecond, I wanted to kill them. I wanted to give them the poison and watch them die. That's how angry I got, and I was terrified myself. I'm like, holy crap. Oh, my God. I've never been that angry because I've never allowed myself to be that angry, because it terrified me to be that angry, to see that, what some people call the shadow side. Boom, I shut it down. I walked away from the TV. I think Lou turned it off, and I shut it down. Because I was scared of myself that I could be that angry. Now, we can have all the extremes of emotions. That's just one example I thought of as I was driving here this morning, because it was so intense. And we have all kinds of emotions that come intensely: grief, love, happiness, joy. We get those extremes. And if we're not used to feeling that, what do? We shut it down. Or it comes out sideways as something else that we're more comfortable with. Mine happens to be anger. So if I get too happy, I'm going to come back to my comfortable place. Some of us call it sabotage. We sabotage ourselves if we get too extreme in any of our emotions because it's uncomfortable. So I inquired about this. How do I feel? Because I want to be able to experience all of this, all of my life being human, and the intensity of it all, which means as deeply as I can feel angry is also as deeply as I can love. And that scared me. Oh my God, I can love as deeply as I'm angry. I know I'm angry, but I can love that much too? Oh my God, what do I do with that? Nothing. I want to raise the bar in my life. It means I get to do nothing, experience it all, and be open to the experience of it all. Sometimes that means I say nothing. Sometimes that means I express it appropriately. I don't take it out on someone. Because when I get uncomfortable, and most of us get uncomfortable, we will do something to not feel that. Whether it comes out in behavior, or food, or drinking, or sex, or working. There's all kinds of ways that we try to anesthetize. To not feel more than we're comfortable feeling. So I inquired. I'm coming back to that inquiry. I inquired about, what do I do with this anger? How do I feel this when I get that angry and that terrified that I'm that angry? What do I do with that? When someone said, and I had read it several times, you sit in it. You sit in it until you're on the other side of it, which shook me to my boots, I do what? What's going to happen? I don't know what's going to happen on the other side of it. I don't know who I'm going to be on the other side of it. I don't know what it's going to be like when I feel all those emotions. I'm never going to stop feeling them. That's one of my fears. over the years is if I grieve too much, or if I get too angry, or I get too happy, or I get too loving. The good ones are good, but I still have this fear that I'm never going to stop feeling or drowning in my emotions, whatever they are. And what I've learned is this too shall pass. I get to sit with it and I get to be with it. It's a choice. So I choose to. And it gets uncomfortable, and I sometimes can only do so much. And then the next time I do a little bit more. And the next time a little bit more. And I found myself deliriously happy a lot of the time of my life, and able to have an emotion, a feeling of anger, and move through it and not die in it or drown in it. And I can have that same feeling with love and joy and happiness. Oh, I like drowning in that a little bit more. It feels a lot better. But it didn't in the beginning. It didn't. Because I didn't know how to receive it. I didn't know how to allow it in, or allow myself to feel that about myself. So probably the biggest thing about allowing is giving ourselves permission. Permission to feel whatever you feel all the way through. It won't last forever. I'll stop there. Feedback, takeaway, aha moment. Sitting with it.
Ooh. I think for me that stepping back and realizing that other people have their own process too. I just, in the middle of my emotions, I do not allow that at this time, and I hope to be able to do that. In my emotions, yes. It's all about me.
Really? It's all about me, don't you know? Yes.
I think it kind of comes back to your faith in what Spirit tells you.
Yeah.
Because like I am the one that's going to be moving away and leaving everybody I love here, and it's scary as crap, but I also have this excitement that I know it's the right thing to do. And I have to be able to sit with that emotion and trust it more than letting the fear take over.
Absolutely.
Because I know it's going to be a good thing for me. But having to leave all my support group for the past few years, a family to me is scary as hell.
Right? The relationship becomes different because you're not 100 miles away, you're going to be a little further than that, so that we're not as accessible by physicalness. By phone we are. Still different. Yeah. Yep. Thank you for being here. Anything else before we head off on our day? I'm sure I'll be writing more about this as the week progresses.
Well, thank you for... go ahead. I was going to say thank you for your candidness and openness. I appreciate that. And vulnerability.
Thank you. Did you have something else, Lisa?
Yeah, something you taught me. Only own my part. So dealing with your mother and putting that guilt on her, of hers on you. Only own your part. Let her have hers.
Yeah. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Doing my best. I have moments. I do have moments around it, but mostly I'm see that my mom is where she is, and I'm hoping that something will shift for her.
This will cause her to
all
grow.
the time. Yeah.
This is going to affect her, and she'll have to grow.
One can hope.
And that might be the thing that gets her past her grieving.
I hope so. I do hope so. I know she's been reaching out more because I did. Hold on.